And parts of Oregon, there is an order for people to wear masks when out in the public.
So this is raising a lot of questions. We've heard from a lot of you wondering about how this order is going to be enforced. Joining us live to talk about the Washington State order, Sergeant Darren Wright with the Washington State Patrol. Good morning, Sergeant Wright. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So what is your agency's approach going to be to handling these situations that may arise where you have someone not wearing a mask where they've been asked to?
Well, throughout this whole COVID situation, we've always relied on education and engagement. That's our primary focus. We want to educate people, explain to them why this is the need, why there is the need to wear the mask, and try to get them to comply with that for others.
Okay, well, is there any situation where your office would, maybe be called out to a store and someone wasn't wearing one, where you guys would issue a citation or even arrest someone over a mask-related issue?
Well, there's always a circumstance that could end up happening like that. That it was a last resort for us. We're not wanting to go out and make arrests or make citations. Again, we want to educate people and try to get them to comply with the order.
So we've gotten a lot of questions from some viewers, both in Oregon and Washington, about the rules for concealed carry. When you have someone covering their face now or wearing a mask, does that affect anything that has to do with concealed carry or firearms?
I can only speak for Washington, but there's no law, revised code of Washington, that addresses carrying a gun, whether concealed or open carry in Washington, while wearing a mask. The thing that needs to be considered is that if it's done in an intent to intimidate, the brandishing law could come into effect. So if you're just wearing the mask in compliance and you're carrying a firearm, whether concealed or open carry, and just going about your business, there is no violation of the law there.
I mean, that's definitely an interesting part of this that I hadn't thought about. What should someone do if they do see someone who's, blatantly not wearing a mask and also ignoring any social distancing rules? Because, I mean, personally, I know I've seen that at some stores. I mean, what should the public do?
Well, there's unfortunately not a lot the public can do. So there are exemptions to the law. There are people for medical reasons and other reasons that can't wear a mask. So those that are exemptions, they don't know whether they're exercising one of those exemptions or not. So we want people to comply. We want to get the message out there, and we want people to be safe, and we want to get past this coronavirus issue. So we ask that people comply with the mandate, and if we can help encourage, educate, and engage with those people to get them to wear that mask, if they're not under one of the exemptions, then we work with that.
Yeah, it seems like in most situations, I know you kind of wonder, should I politely say something? Maybe it's better to just give people some space and not escalate there. You know, the one thing that we've heard a couple other law enforcement agencies express concern over is just the fact that we're in this time right now where tensions between law enforcement and members of the public are already kind of strained. Is this something that WSP is concerned about at all? Or are you worried about having to step into any of these situations when tensions are already kind of high?
Well, obviously, we're going to keep track of what's going on with the current environment, and we don't want to go out and arrest somebody for a mask violation if we don't have to, and create a difficult situation. That's where the education and the engagement come in. That's where we want to try to talk to people and try to get them to comply with the mandate, as we said. But we're not going to actively go out and proactively seek out people that are not wearing masks, and we're not going to engage with people specifically just because they're not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Have you guys gotten a lot of calls from people so far about these issues, maybe businesses that have had some run-ins?
Not yet, because the mandate just goes into effect today. So we'll handle those as they come in. We'll evaluate whether there's a need for us to respond to a call like that and handle them as they come in.
Okay, well, I'll be checking back with you guys then to see how this all rolls out. Well, Sergeant, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate the information, and stay safe.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.